to talk about that.
It's out of context. That's gonna sound so bad.
So bad.
Listen here, viewer. Everything that we were just discussing before cannot be heard on Twitch. You're going to have to use your imagination to decide what it was.
Yep.
We've made a tower of
Don't
bodies.
worry about it.
You can't say that. You're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get canceled, Raven.
You also can't see any of that. You can only see the part that I've highlighted for the stream. Anyways, I think last session you guys did a good amount of battle. Wow, much battle. Very violent.
Our goblins for once.
Yeah,
I think Benadryl is still at 1 HP.
Yes.
Golly gee, you certainly did.
Yeah, last time we entered this room after something tried to eat Benadryl's brain, and then we got jumped by the Hobgoblin boys and the Goblin Goonies, and then we proceeded to basically kill them all within one turn of meeting each individual.
I will say,
try to hit and run on poor Benadryl, though.
Look, all I'm saying is that genocide implies that they are people. That is xenocide.
Fascinating.
I can feel Albertine's deadly gaze from across the world.
I was just thinking about. It reminds me of one of my favorite. It reminds me of one of my favorite lines in Persona 4 is, only humans have human rights.
Oh my god.
I am going to be using that. And you cannot stop me.
Okay, that sounds like a really cool line for like a human purist, like evil paladin or something like that.
The chaotic good paladin who just
he's not good. That's not a good paladin.
He's a lawful neutral paladin is what he is.
Lawful neutral is a very interesting deity.
Anyway.
Would you guys like to hear one of my favorite completely G-rated threats of all time?
Oh boy.
What is it?
So a bit of context is the main character of a book is following an old lady to the place where she does her work because she's basically like an alchemist combined with an inventor. And she's described as more wrinkled than woman. Like just the oldest stereotypical old lady.
Wait, hold on, guys. You need to see this. I can make this die clap. I'm gonna just...
You also made it despawn.
I did?
Because you put it into the fog. There you go.
So the threat goes as follows. Do you know what happened to the last man who made me wait this much?
Look!
I married him. That's a threat.
Look, it's clapping.
I'm looking on the...
It's clapping!
On the stream.
Alright, sorry.
It looks like a dude who's banging his head against the wall.
You and I have very different ways of viewing that. Anyways, something, old woman threatening to marry someone because she's impatient.
I just love the ending of, that's a threat.
That's a threat. Yeah, I would feel threatened by that. That is, I feel intimidated. Well, guys, most of the things
in combat?
You're not. Yeah, in combat anymore. No, combat is over. You're surrounded by the corpses of goblins and hobgoblins.
Good.
That tried to kill you. Garthus is frozen in the middle of whatever it was he was doing. He's in kind of a weird position. He's not moving at all. He's kind of blurred, actually.
He's turned into a statue.
He's doing yoga.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This happened last time we went into the jewelry store.
Yeah, he's not moving.
Well,
he's petrified.
All right, well, Lars, while still hyped up on adrenaline, is going to kind of shimmy across the room before he realizes exactly what he's looking at here. Kind of stand next to Darthus here and just make sure he's okay.
Let's start searching stuff too.
Okay. Are you searching the goblins or are you searching the rooms?
I'm gonna start with the goblins.
Okay. The goblins have, standard goblin things. Some have like a couple of copper pieces on them. A few have some teeth. You can't really tell if they're human teeth or if they're goblin teeth. They're kind of badly deformed. They look like they've been through quite a lot. You can only barely tell their teeth because of traces of blood on them and black spots. And that's just kind of a guess. Like, these things are mangled.
Okay. Do the goblins have the telltale sign of our goblin friend Yimik?
They do? What do you mean by telltale?
So
The identifier of his clan thing.
Oh, yes. These are clan members.
I made it up when we were asking earlier. It was basically the shape of a goblin, the side profile of like goblin teeth in the shape of a cave opening.
Yes.
With like a fractured tooth.
Yeah, they're all part of the Cragmaw clan.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm their identity as I searched them. Make sure that, we killed who we thought we did.
Yeah, it's good to be thorough. Good to be thorough. Anything else you want to do?
Probably. I'm assuming, do the hobgoblins have anything like?
They've got hobgoblin armor, but it is fitted to them.
The hobgoblins
and would not be very useful to you. You doubt you could use it effectively. They're very differently built, with different like leg and torso proportions. Benadryl's going to do what?
Benadryl's going to search the hobgoblins.
Okay. The hobgoblins, yeah, they've got like studded leather armor. They're carrying, let's see, a long sword and a long bow, each of them, and a sling with about 5 arrows each. Arrows look like they're decent condition. Yeah, nothing particularly useful. It doesn't seem like they were really carrying much on them.
All right.
What do I got spell slot wise? Also, how many copper pieces did you say they had on them?
In total, go ahead and roll a d20.
Okay. Let me move over here. Throw me that d20. 7.
It got about 21 copper pieces.
Very good. Come here, dice. Alright. Add 21.
Yep, 21
very good,
copper
very good.
pieces. The halls are more or less silent, along with the odd creak, echo, or whistle as the wind blows through them.
I want to inspect the roof area of both these rooms just to make sure there's no other friends hanging out in there.
For sure. It is dark. It is rather dark. There's only light shining in from these arrow slits here, and a little bit from here around the corner where it comes in from that hole.
I mean, I do have dark vision, so...
Oh, I see.
Question. Is anyone else seeing the floating tower of goblins?
No! You can't say that! You've gotten us all canceled now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Kalen. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and... Yeah, you don't see anything on the roof. It seems like it was just that one little creature. And once you've dispatched it, it is no more.
Okay. So where are our doors that lead into here? Like, is there a
One
door?
here.
There is, yes. There's one
There's
there.
one on this dead. This goblin that's slumped over against it.
Yeah, he's slumped over against the door. There's
Okay.
two doors further in.
I would advise us healing before we decide to go in? Whatever form you wish to take that in.
I'm on full health, so
If
good.
If you can cover me for what is it, 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, we were in the middle of me doing that ritual to identify that relic last time that we found.
You were. Yeah. Do you want to resume that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have Lars. Lars is gonna kind of not lackadaisical, but somewhat adrenaline-filled days. He's gonna quickly stagger over, drag. Oh, I can't even move him. Never mind. I was gonna say he was dragging Garthus, but he'll just kind of tiptoe around everything and then close the curtain. Out of sight, out of mind.
So, if you guys think that you can keep me covered for 10 minutes, I can probably heal all of us.
No problemo.
I guess that would probably be important to do that first, then I can go back to identifying the relic. But I still have it in my hand. I never dropped it.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast Prayer of Healing. Now it says it has a range of 30 feet. Do they have to stay in range the entire casting time, or just at the end?
I would say during the entire casting time.
Alright, so nobody leave 30 feet of me.
Okay, Lars says as he kind of takes a seat against the wall.
Up to 6 creatures of my choice regain hit points equal 2d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. It'll take 10 minutes to warm up.
Like I said,
Hey, Lars, are you going to identify the thingy?
So if you can stack that on Benadryl, that'd be best.
I can choose up to 6 creatures. I don't think I can stack it.
So what are you casting?
Prayer of Healing. Oh, Lars, I think you're doing Identify Object, aren't you?
Yeah, I was casting because Benadryl gave me the pearl temporarily to cast Identify as a ritual, so I didn't have to expend a spell slot. To identify this strange statue we found in the brazier.
So you're casting the Identify spell?
Yes, to see if it had any magical properties, because we could tell that there was something up with it, but we couldn't quite tell just from looking at it. We would have to have magic interact with it to see what response we would get, is what I remember you saying last time.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, 10 minutes go by, during which nothing particularly concerning happens. You cast Identify, and when the spell is finished, a sort of clarity comes over you, and you are looking at it with new eyes, and all of a sudden, as if in a dream, it just makes sense to you that this thing is foretelling the future. In a more mechanical sense, any non-evil creature grasping the statue can ask it a question and receive a telepathic response as though it had cast augury. Once a creature has asked its question and received a response, it can never activate the statuette again.
Interesting. Guys, this appears to be
I'm gonna change the music real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're not in combat now. A very interesting kind of relic that allows you to see the future to a degree, or at least get some glimpse or answer towards a question you may have.
Augury?
I think it might be prudent if we hang on to it.
Yes, augury, just for you to know, is, let's see here. It doesn't give exact results. Let's see.
Yeah,
it gives you.
It's like a fortune teller genie kind of thing. It's
pretty
vague,
much.
But
yeah,
it gives
vague.
you a pointed direction at least.
It gives you wheel and woe, or nothing, which is to say good and bad, or neither. In terms of what the omens are for, what thing you're going to do or what the outcome of some endeavor will be.
Also, just so everyone knows, after a long rest, this spell could potentially be in my arsenal, but it'll cost me an equivalent to 25 gold pieces to cast. So, in theory, we can have this as many times as we desire as long as we have money. And
it only works one time on one person.
The item does, but I can cast the actual augury spell.
Yes.
But again, it costs money to do.
Quick question, DM, because I'm just writing this down in my inventory here.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the thing is made out of? I don't remember what you if you did.
It's made out of gold. It's solid gold.
Okay. Solid gold. Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to put that down.
Also, we need to start rolling some d8s for healing.
Roll them.
Okay. Go ahead and do that while I write this down.
Okay. I don't know if you want me to roll for everyone or.
It's your spell. I would say you're the one who.
Well, that's a great start. So that would be a total of 6, and then my spellcasting modifier is. Let me find it. Plus 6. Everyone regenerates 12 hit points.
All right. I'm already at max, so. Benadryl, you're no longer on 1 HP.
From now on, I am absolutely utilizing olive oil. Oh, delicious olive oil on fish.
I'm sorry, that out of context is just hilarious.
No, it makes perfect sense out of context. A man is absolutely utilizing olive oil. For what? We don't know. Although we do know it's
drinking
delicious.
Olive oil straight out of a flask?
I mean, think about the calorie to weight ratio. It's so practical. Just come on. Think about it.
I'm healthy.
True.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a point. So, I guess, with healing out of the way, and now that we've got this item identified, I have nothing I wish to ask this thing at the moment, so I'm just going to tuck it away in my bag here.
I also have nothing I wish to ask it.
Toa, are you done with your, revenge arc? I don't know how much more I can take of this. Lars says in a strangely calm manner for having just murdered, 5 goblins.
Tella also brandishing the crowbar. Oh yeah, I should take care of that.
Oh no. No. Lars says as he's frantically looking around.
No distraction!
Where? Lars says as he then runs over the window and looks outside.
Toa points to this thing. He's like, you guys figure out what that is. I'm gonna go collect the skulls.
Alright, so you want to know what the deal is with the altar?
Sure. It had the same kind of red wrappings as the statuette had.
Yeah. So this chamber occupies the northern tower of the castle. A stone altar stands in the middle of the room, covered with blood-stained black cloth. Golden ritual implements, a chalice, a knife, and a censer, are carefully arranged on top of the altar. 2 archways to the south are covered with heavy curtains.
Well, we came in through the curtains.
Yes, we did come in through the curtains. But it's clear that this is, some kind of ritual room to a degree, judging by the instruments and the cloth. DM, could I perhaps roll a history or possibly an arcana check, either or, to possibly not divinate, but identify its root origin?
Religion check.
If that's possible?
Yeah, religion check.
Oh, religion. I forgot that's a thing.
Uh-huh.
Right. Let me grab my dice that's weighted to the moon and back. 18.
18.
Plus, I don't think I have a bonus to religion. No, I don't. It's just base. No, I do have a +2.
All right. Well, it's pretty clear. These are common gods that you have heard of. They're not obscure. And the markings, like the symbology and the depictions of them, are pretty common, pretty typical. They're not odd at all. So, let's see.
Okay.
I'll bet we can sell these things for a bit of money.
I misread that. Okay, well, I'm just going to assume that Toa assisted you.
He corrected me.
Corrected you, yeah.
He knows more about history of religion than Lars would.
Certainly does, but you're no fool yourself. You recognize Ogma, the god of knowledge, Mistra, the goddess of magic, Lathander, the god of dawn, and Timora, the goddess of luck. There's very obvious signs that humans built this castle.
Yes, these aren't... If I recall, these wouldn't necessarily be common deities that different goblin packs would worship, but I've heard stranger stories.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should leave these be, Benadryl. I understand that, looting many valuable items could bring value, but I have a feeling
they're already halfway in his pocket.
Oh, yeah, heavens, Benadryl. Did you even think that these may be cursed to a degree? Or unsanitary at the very least. Have you seen the condition of this black cloth?
Tella in the middle.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna watch them.
Tella in the middle of popping off another goblin's head, pokes in. Hey, don't mess around with the whole goddess of fortune thing. It isn't worth it. Goes back to decapitating more goblins.
I imagine a squelching sound and a little bit of spurt comes out past the curtain.
I imagine it's like the sound of a champagne cork being popped, and then a splatter.
Just...
Yeah.
Followed by like, shh.
It's almost as silly as the Taco Bell bong.
God, that's so silly.
I forgot to grab sounds for my spells. I was gonna do that. I forgot. Would
DM, what should I put if I'm adding the ritual implements to my inventory?
Oh, you're actually taking them. Oh no. I'm gonna say it right now. I am not involved with stealing from this altar.
Add ritual chalice, and then in parentheses 150 GP.
Hold on.
Take your time. I can actually just put them in your little notebook that you've got here.
There we are. Equipment.
I could just put them in your little blue notebook up the top.
Oh, that works.
Okay.
I have a weird question.
Oh boy.
The statuettes of the goddesses we have up here are like, you said that they were carved out of material. Is there perhaps a spot missing in between either of these, or are they lined up still perfectly? Because I'm curious if this statuette of mine might react to the altar to a degree if I put it in the right spot.
There do not appear to be any gaps or missing spaces.
Interesting. Very well. I hope you are going to be satisfied with a curse of multiple, possibly millennia of bad luck for taking implements from a altar worshipping multiple different deities, Benadryl.
If they want to pick a fight with the elder gods, so be it.
I think they'll take their fight up with you. But I suppose leaving it in the hands of goblins would be more problematic. Perhaps we can take it to somebody who would put them to better use. Although I don't exactly know if we'd want that better use for considering that they were covered in literal stained cloths of blood.
I was just thinking about it, because technically Toa is a cleric, but it's like, yeah, the only person who's supposedly a holy man in this party is busy lopping off the heads of the goblins in the other room.
Yeah, no, Lars instinctively knows this and shudders when he thinks of your name in the back of his head.
Classic priest behavior.
Yeah, he's just chaotic good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he is in fact chaotic.
That's crazy. How did I know?
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the alignment system.
It's a village ritual. Don't worry about it. It's goblins. It's totally fine.
It's a suggestion.
I guess so. I guess once you're all done looting the altar and taking whatever you can from them, I guess we could try and peek into the rest of the castle if Toa still has his bloodlust.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming the goblins are all taken care of by now.
I would be inclined to agree with that.
They took Lars, they took a bag ahead of my people. I will take a bag in return.
I will not stop you.
Very good.
Ah, yes, the elves, known for their
Just
grace.
Don't make me watch.
Half elf.
Let's go see if they have more things we can steal. I mean, yeah, steal.
I think what my instructor used to say was, we're not stealing from the enemy, we're liberating it from their oppressive rule.
Exactly. You're starting to get it, Lars.
And just kicks through the door.
I might, Lars says as he opens the curtain and sees the potty pile Toa has made.
Oh my god.
I think we might be the ones, the oppressors.
Are we the baddies?
Lars starts his adrenaline, now mostly worn off, begins to gag at the sight.
It's also probably doesn't make it better. They are all headless.
It's okay.
They see me rolling.
Lars shields his vision and kind of runs his hand along the wall to walk over to the other two, who I think Benadryl just barged through that door.
Benadryl just tried to kick in the door.
Okay, alright, Benadryl, make a strength check.
Oh boy, yes! I love when I get to do these.
Oh boy.
Ooh, hold on.
Yeah.
Unless you got a way to re-roll that isn't happening.
That is a grand total of -1.
Yeah, alright, you take, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. The door kicks you in!
Oh, my ankle! Ow! Oh, that hurts.
Oh,
Listen,
alright,
kicking down the door is not a good idea.
after all the healing
it's a pull door.
and stuff,
Okay.
is done, it's like 9:06 in the morning. Anyways. Yeah, go ahead and have somebody else open that door. Benadryl's... He's not gonna have a chance.
Can we peek? Is there a spot to peek through the door?
I mean, you could just crack it a little bit if you wanted.
Sure, let's do that.
After trying to push it in, Benadryl pulls on the door experimentally.
Okay. Yeah, it opens.
It was a pull door.
It was a
They
pull.
really should label those.
I think it was a pull door.
It was.
Stand by for combat, gentlemen.
Okay. Let's see here. You open the door.
To make Benadryl strike a pose, I would make him do it.
Open the door. This is what you see. Oh, Benadryl is already going into that room?
Yeah,
like-
he kind of just barged in there by the looks of it.
I tried to peek it, and Benadryl just like Kool-Aid Man's through the door.
Make a dexterity saving throw, Benadryl. You're the first one that goes, right?
Yeah.
All right, dex saving throw.
Hang on. Saving throws. Dex. Oh yeah. Big 10.
Big 10? Wow. You only avoid getting crushed by rubble because you are slow and old. There's a bunch of rubble that falls in this area, just like a ton of like rocks that just, and you look down to see that you just triggered a tripwire.
Oh.
Oh. I meant to do that.
Yeah.
What's he? What
You're
is he
stuck
knocking into?
on this guy.
There we are.
Yeah.
Even when they're
Well-
dead, they're still just as tall as they normally would be.
Lars, show us door number 2 more carefully.
Okay. Lars says as he stops cowering behind the frozen Garthus and moves back up to the other door. I would like to quietly push open the door and see what's on the other side.
Very well. So you open the door to this area.
Lars, check for wires.
This area. It's a storeroom. Old casks of salted meat and sacks of rotting grain fill this storage area. Among the supplies, you see a bloody suit of chainmail, a heavy crossbow, and an unsheathed longsword with the emblem of Neverwinter worked into its hilt. And if you're going to check for traps, I would like you to make a perception check.
Yep, I'm chepping for traps.
Checking for traps.
Ooh, 7. I think I have a +1 to that. I'm gonna double check.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough spell arsenal left to include I didn't have enough spell slot. Or
Yeah, I have a +1, so 8.
Okay, so it's dark, it's dusty, it's really, really messy. It's hard to tell whether or not there is traps going on. After watching Benadryl almost get buried by falling rubble, everything kind of looks like a trap. The floor looks like it may be uneven. The walls look like they could have little, like, automatic crossbows hidden inside them. But you're not sure if it's just your imagination. Okay, yeah, Benadryl charges into the room.
It wasn't
Lars
charging.
gets shoved out of the way and like, falls into the door.
He strides in, and he's fine. He's fine. He's okay.
Lars
doesn't seem like
Turns around and there's still blood on his face. He's like, it's fine.
All right. I guess we should take a look around. There's a Neverwinter sword here, and
I want the bow.
looks like the previous owner of this armor.
Also, goes to Garthus. Come here, you.
Can't move him. He's stuck in place.
Right.
He's frozen. He's frozen in time. Temporal vortex.
Yep.
Well,
Very common occurrence, don't you know?
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
very well.
Anyways. So who's digging through the stuff in here?
I guess Lars will, reluctantly poking around the bloody chainmail, which likely belonged to a previous adventurer, if not the caravan guard that was with Mr. Rockseeker.
Make an investigation check.
Tella will inspect the heavy crossbow.
20.
Oh, well, first off, everybody gets 76 XP.
20 plus 4 for investigation.
Plus 4. Well, your mind seizes on the fact that the proportions of this, you hold up the chainmail to inspect it, and it strikes you that it's the exact same proportions as Gundren Rockseeker. It's like a flash in your mind. It's like you see him wearing it, and you're like, I know whose this is. And the sword, and the crossbow.
Not much of a fighter, he says. Looks at his equipment.
Yeah.
How much XP was that again? 67?
76.
76.
Close. Oh, not quite 67.
I have numerexia, so I put the numbers backwards.
That's a thing?
Yes.
You learn something new every
I don't
day.
think it's called numerexia, but there's a dyslexia where it's specifically with numbers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have proper dyslexia, and he has the dyslexia that's just for numbers.
He's got off-brand dyslexia.
Honestly,
it's Walmart
I'm just an
brand.
off-brand person.
Yeah, we've got dyslexia at home type dyslexia.
Yes.
It's great value.
Great value dyslexia.
No, I'll be great value dyslexia.
That is the Walmart brand, by the way.
Yeah.
I know it
Great
is.
value.
Is it
Yeah,
though?
I will
Is
be
it really
that.
great value?
I mean,
How great is the value?
it depends on what you're getting.
It does.
If you're getting basmati rice, it is, because you can get like 30 pounds of basmati rice for like $15.
Do you want me just to... I guess we should scoop up his gear and then see if he still wants it when we get back to him. And if not, perhaps we could reforge that chainmail into something for Garthus, since he was looking for an upgrade.
I could do that, sure. Yeah,
I don't remember what armor he currently has, though. He may already have chain. I know he was looking for some armor, though.
I could probably check at some point in the future. Anyways, if you want to add that to your inventory, just write Gundren's chainmail.
Yep, I'm just going to add it as an item, not a physical one that I can use. That'll just be easier.
Okay.
Chainmail, there we go.
And if you're picking up the longsword as well, just add that as Gundren's longsword.
Oops, I almost added from compendium. There we go. I'm gonna guess Toa's taking the crossbow since he was looking at that.
Could be.
I mean, I want because it's a heavy crossbow, right?
It sure is.
Let me double check this thing. Let me double check it doesn't have like a weird strength requirement that I don't have.
According to this, ammunition heavy. You're not small or tiny, are you?
No.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Loading.
I do in fact want it.
Well, you can hang on to it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So also, since it's got the loading property, you can only attack with this thing once per round. And it is two-handed.
I've got Gundren's chainmail and Gundren's longsword tucked away in my magic sack of holding.
Most excellent. All right. Are you investigating anything else, or are you just looking at the...
Yes! This seems to be the place where the goblins store their goodies. So perhaps, just like in Cragmaw Cave, we might be able to find something. Perhaps even materials that we could bring back to Phandelver and sell to our good friend.
Yes, so you recognize, let's see. These are supplies that would have been in caravans raided along the high road and the Tribor Trail. These are chests that bear familiar brands and sigils for suppliers that you know deliver to the Phandelver region. So if you're looking among the crates, make me an investigation check.
Gotcha.
Benadryl looks for like a nice cask of wine.
Oh. 5 plus 4, that's a 9.
Okay, well, lucky for you, it's nothing hidden. Yeah, it's just one of the casks, one of the smaller casks. Benadryl said he was looking for wine. All right, well, Benadryl and Lars, it's like a, what was it? That one Disney movie where it's the dogs kissing while they eat spaghetti.
Oh, Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah, it's like you have a Lady and the Tramp moment where your hands both touch the same barrel at the same time. Yeah. Anyways, you pop that bad boy open. You can tell, just from the smell, from the color, this is exceptional dwarven brandy. This is really good stuff. It's in something of a smaller cask.
Something that makes everything stop hurting.
Yeah.
A smaller, almost like a keg that's man portable, you would say.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, good stuff.
Perhaps we should take this. I have a feeling we'd be able to get a pretty decent price for it.
I
Benadryl
agree.
takes a single swig and is just like,
Let me have this.
Okay.
Everything hurts.
Absolutely. Have a swig.
Benadryl, you missing any HP?
He's missing a lot of HP.
Benadryl has 12 HP.
12. Now you have 13. After you take a swig of that HP, you feel better. Everything is warm. Everything is good. This is very, very good brandy.
I'm not drinking enough to get drunk or anything. I'm just like, it's good drink, not hurting.
Yeah, it's really good. Anything else you guys are doing in this room?
Anything else we want to search, or do we?
You've searched everything. You're confident. Like you've looked through all the crates. It's just rotting food. Nothing that's worth saving.
Tella extends each of his hands. There's a door towards each direction. Pick a door, my friends.
Ooh, that one.
Which one?
Left or right hand?
Your
Left.
left, Toa. Lars
Door
points
number
over
3,
here.
it is.
All right, so you go in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, hey, look!
4 plain
Daylight.
straw pallets and bedrolls are lined up on the floor of this barracks. Brackets on the wall hold a number of weapons: spears, swords, morning stars, and more. The north wall shows signs of damage, but the floor is swept clean of rubble.
So, is this easy access in and out?
You could probably slide on your butt down it, but it's something of a hill.
Oh, okay, so not exactly something we can get boxes... Well, we could get boxes down from it. We wouldn't be able to get them up.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing we're going to be taking is that dwarven brandy.
I mean, yeah, we're going to be carrying that, but I'm tempted to throw a whole bunch of boxes down the side of the hill.
What purpose would that serve, Toa?
Well, we could take
It'd be
some
really
of the...
cool to watch them explode.
I mean, there's that. We could roll the stuff down, but also, you know, we stole their loot. Anyway, is there a door on this wall?
There is not.
Okay.
No door.
Benadryl's gonna go through this door.
Okay, you do see a door here. Sorry, not there. Just here. Yeah. You going
Everybody
in there?
cab!
You going in? You going in there?
Oh
You
yeah.
All right, buddy. You're in. Wow. This small room is littered with debris. The arrow slit opposite the door offers a fine field of fire over the terrace in front of the castle gates. It's a good thing you guys didn't go in that way.
Indeed.
How do I get this music to shut up for 5 seconds? Everyone else is perfectly leveled, and then the music is like...
Menu,
You could probably
configuration, sound, and then change the MP3 volume.
That's what I had
Thank
to do.
Why is it a reasonable volume for me, though? Because when I join other games, it's way too loud. But when I host, I'm like, that's way too quiet.
I don't know.
Weird.
Oh, blessed sweet relief.
I guess there's one final door to check. Door number 5, the opposite murder hole.
I guess we could. Lars says as he suspiciously
Careful of
eyes the
wires.
rubble.
All right.
I
So it
guess
just, like,
I'll go first.
Pops in from the door
Trepidatiously-
frame. Watch the wires.
Trepidatiously walking over to the door, pushing it open slightly to peek inside.
All right. It looks exactly the same as this door. It's just got an archer slit with a view over the front of the castle.
The terrace.
The castle gates. Yeah, the terrace. Yeah, it's empty. You guys don't see anybody. It's all quiet.
All right.
There's
I
nothing
think
here.
that's everything here. Lars says
All
he steps
quiet
back
in the
out of the
northern-
room, looking over the pile of rubble and seeing a very familiar entry point on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole castle.
Okay.
It's all of Cragmaw, and I'll say at this point it's like 9:30.
Well, we want
That's
to
not
start
a
getting
real
our
time.
stuff and skedaddling.
Yes, but we should
Good morning.
see what we can do about Garthus.
Number 6. Let's see. Hold on.
Alright. While they try to figure out Garthus, I want to inspect the weapons on the wall. Anything worth our while.
Where?
As a
In here?
we're in
time
here.
wizard,
Okay, you do see one. Mounted on the wall are 5 spears, 4 long swords, 3 morning stars, 2 great swords, and a fine quarterstaff. The quarterstaff
Ooh.
is engraved with stylized feathers. Do you pick it up?
Oh, absolutely.
It is surprisingly light. You twirl it in your hand and it swishes in the wind effortlessly.
I hear very happy Toa noises.
For those who don't know, the quarterstaff is probably one of my favorite weapons. So So I'm very happy to find a better version.
Garthus? Garthus? Lars says as he's tapping on his shoulder with his, the tip of his staff. Solid in place. Benadryl, any ideas on how we might be able to get him moving?
Something tells me that sometime soon, time will just kind of snap for him, and he'll go and like really, really quickly zip zap zoom through all this nonsense and end up with us.
Okay.
There's one thing I'm going to try. I want to know if it's temporal vortex or temporal scope. One he'll be perfectly fine if we leave him. The other won't. It's an easy way to check. Lars says as he walks over to the side of Garthus. Now, if I give him a hefty thwack and it bounces back with a magic retaining force, he'll be safe for us to leave. He'll go about his business as if he was alongside us the entire time. If it hits him directly, then we need to find a way to move him, because then it's just temporal. It's not temporal force. It's just a temporal hold.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's give him a kick.
All right, here we go. Lars says as he raises the staff above his head and brings it down on one of his shoulder pads.
Okay. Your staff makes a shockingly silent noise, which is to say, it makes no noise at all. It's as if you didn't hit something. It's eerie. It's unsettling. It stops, but not with a thwack, not with a thump, just it stops.
Huh.
Well, that was different.
I've never seen a phenomenon like this. Lars says he goes to touch Garthus, but immediately retracts his hand. I don't want to be caught up in that. I think he'll probably be fine.
Immediately starts stacking rocks on Garthus' shoulder.
Okay, each time you put the rock down, silence. 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 A couple of them just kind of tumble to the ground and they clack as they hit the stone floor. Garthus is completely unmoved. His eyes, his face, the expression, it's rock solid, rigid.
All right. I guess that's fine. This is it definitely was like how it was in Neverwinter. Well, we left him alone in Neverwinter and he was fine, so I guess we can leave him here, he says as he eyes the pile of headless goblin corpses.
I was just thinking, I don't think we have any sticky notes. You just like put a sticky note on his forehead, on his helmet.
I could try to tie him around a rope and then tie the rope around a 5-pound object and then try to catapult him around. I don't think that would exactly work very well.
I could just think you just tear out his spine doing that.
He's gonna feel he's gonna come out of this temporal vortex, this time shift that he's in, and then he's just gonna feel everything that happens to him at once.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna explode. All right. I'll say you spend another half hour doing this.
Actual serious out of game question: will it be okay if we walk away? I'm honestly not sure. Because it's clear we can't quite interact with him, and we haven't been able to move him.
I mean, the castle is completely empty. I
could try attacking him and see what happens. Like,
why don't you try?
I try swinging.
Why don't you try experimenting a little bit?
Okay.
I say we cover his weapons in blood and then just scatter all the goblins around him.
He's already covered in blood.
Yeah, no, he's got blood coming out of his helmet.
I was just thinking, just stack all the bodies on top.
Some of the blood was dripping. You can see a droplet frozen midair.
What if we hide him amongst the corpses?
Yeah.
Can we push him?
We would have to bring the corpses to him.
I try and move him.
Okay, so do you touch him with your bare hands? You touch him with your bare hands, Benadryl?
No, I'm poking him with my stick.
Poking him with your stick. Okay, again, silence, and your stick just stops moving when you touch it to him. It's not it's not like there's any give at all. It's just like it hits some sort of a temporal field and becomes stiff itself.
I guess there's one thing I can try then, Boz says as he edges a bit closer to Garthus.
Benadryl walks over and uses, I don't know, this guy's axe and just like knocks one of their hands off, and he's kind of like,
I wonder if this thing responds to organic flesh.
Okay, what are you doing with that hand, buddy?
Just toss it at him.
Okay, so the hand hits him and it freezes as well. Like as it hits.
I knew it.
It's kind of it's an interesting phenomenon actually, because at first it kind of wiggles a little bit, flops down, and then it becomes stiff, as if it spreads through first the fingertips, then the fingers themselves, and then the palm. The whole thing takes about simply just 30 seconds.
That could simply just be the hand freezing after you cut it off.
It's very clearly on like it's on like a shear surface. Like it's still connected to him.
It's literally just frozen in place, attached to his arm, sideways.
It's at like a 90-degree, like a shear surface.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Out of physics. Well, let's see. What do I have in my bag? Lars says as he begins rummaging around in there. I could perhaps... I wish I had a way to cast floating disc. That might be a way to get him moving around. It worked last time. Alternatively, if you're brave enough to touch him, you could try to eat him as a mimic.
No. Did you see what happened to the hand?
Perhaps... Benadryl, you still have that pearl, right?
Yes.
I could cast Identify on him. See if we can get to the bottom of it that way.
Okay.
Why not?
Good place to leave off here for just a minute. 20-minute break, and then I say we come back.
All right.
Figure out what we're doing. Let's begin again. Okay, so you're in the process of trying to figure out what to do with Garthus. What have you decided?
Well, I am going, and I'm going to have to touch him physically to do this. I'm going to try the rope pull technique that I was talking about before to see if I can even get him to move.
So
maybe he'll slide around.
You said you were going to try and touch him physically?
Well, I'm going to have to if I'm tying the rope around him.
Okay, so every time you touch him, your hands go numb. They go numb and quiet. It's like your hands vanish. Like, that's what it feels like for your nerves. And you can pull it back on your wrist, but, like, you lose feeling in your hands as you physically touch him. And it gets restored once you, like, pull it away. It's like as you touch him, there's this energy that just stops things. And they kind of hurt once you pull them away. You notice a little bit of, like, swelling around your wrists.
Almost like that feeling when the feeling starts coming back to your hands after they've frozen outside or something.
Yeah,
like that.
very similar, but a lot more abrupt and not necessarily. It's a very strange feeling. It's like your hands went from room temperature to completely frozen and then back to room temperature again.
I don't like that. But
yeah.
I got it done. Benadryl, you want to give me a hand with this heave?
Yeah,
I'm not touching.
Your what is it? Your wrists feel arthritic. All of a sudden, your wrists and your knuckles.
My hands don't feel great all of a sudden.
I'm not touching that. Nope.
It's a rope. Just pull the rope.
I'm not touching him. No.
The rope itself.
You didn't have to.
The rope itself. There's a certain amount of slack in the rope, like where you're holding it. As you let it go, it falls, and it's kind of stiffened up to a foot away from where it was tied.
So
it's just kind of out, like at an angle. Let me draw a little.
No, it's just sticking out. It's just breaking the laws of physics, basically.
Yeah, up to a foot away, and then it's just kind of dangling on. Yeah, kind of like a fishing pole. That's a good analogy.
All right, well, I caught me a big one then.
You're gonna try and drag him?
Just a light tug to see if I can even get him to move, like if he'll budge at all.
All right, so you tug on him and make a perception check.
If this doesn't work, my next step is I'm just gonna have to use identify again. Come on. 5. That's great.
5. Okay.
5 + 1, 6.
You're about at capacity for perception at the moment. You've perceived enough. You're done perceiving.
Perceivant.
Yes, perceivant. You don't really have the bandwidth to notice something. I mean, because there isn't anything to notice. Actually, there's nothing going on. That depends. Did you make a perception check, or do you want to make a perception check? Not. All right. Well, perhaps
you should roll one.
Yeah, maybe.
If not, I guess I'll just continue with my identify. Do I have to? Let me look. Do I have to touch to do identify?
I don't
yes,
think so.
I do.
Oh, we almost got a natural
dangerous. 1. You got a natural
that
1?
Funny.
Almost.
So Benadryl,
retcon to a natural 1.
You got wizard. No, you may not. You got wizard eyes, Benadryl. You got them wizard eyes. With your wizard eyes.
Perception?
Yeah, that's right. With your wizard eyes, you see that he is moving, but the air around him seems to be slowing down, creating something of a buffer. So if you could find a way to encase the air around him, or like put him in a box or something, or I don't know, like a chest maybe.
I am not eating this idiot.
I literally suggested to you to eat him, Benadryl.
I am not going to eat him. You saw what happened to your hand. If I eat him, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah. This if perhaps, I could perhaps use one of my spells to shield you from its effects. I have mage armor, which probably wouldn't do anything because it's on me right now, and it didn't help. But perhaps if you begin to, store him in your secret mimic pouch, then I could try and use maybe shield or something to deflect whatever weird occurrence is happening here.
I don't want to take the chance of being frozen in time.
Only your insides would be frozen.
I mean,
I like my insides.
And by the way you were describing it, it seems to be something to do with this specific tile in particular, in this part of the room. It's not affecting anybody else outside of that, only once it's entered. I mean, I can demonstrate again, Lars says as he picks up one of the coals Benadryl knocked onto the floor when he found the statuette earlier, now very cold, and throws it next to Benadryl, or not Benadryl, Garthus. Not throwing it at Benadryl.
So make a perception, dexterity check.
Okay. 17 plus 2 for that. 19.
Excellent. All right, it flies within a foot of him, and like it's going through molasses, it slows and then stops.
Does it stop in midair, or does it just kind of stop and then fall down to the ground?
It just slows down in midair. I'd say once it touches him, then it stops.
Well, what you can see from that, Benadryl, is be quick.
No, I'm not eating the man frozen in time.
Well, do you want to pull him out of the spot so he's not frozen in time in this spot then? I have the rope still here.
Yeah.
Okay, Lars says as he takes a step back.
So,
grab the rope.
To clarify something, it's not as if it's like a certain field. It seems to be coming from him. Like, the closer things get to him, the slower they go.
Yeah, so pulling him won't do anything if you do manage to move him.
All right, well, I'm out of ideas. I don't have anything. Cleric man, Toa! Lars shouts down the hallway.
Yeah, so...
Do you have something for this?
I meant to also ask you to make a strength check, Lars. I'm sorry, I didn't do that while you were pulling. The perception check was to see a separate thing, but I also needed a strength
my
roll.
Apologies. I'll do that right now.
No worries.
2.
2. All right.
2 minus 1.
Okay. Well, yeah, he doesn't seem to budge.
Yeah, I figured as much. At least it wasn't a natural one.
Look, guys, I'm juggling. I'm juggling.
Yeah, so... The only way I truly see it is, hold on. So, did you already do, like, a detect magic thing here?
I mean, I can still do that if you'd like. That's basically the only thing I've got left I can even do.
Because other than that, our only other two options is the box consumes him to free the field, or we leave him here and he'll wake up eventually.
I'm not eating him.
All right, fine. Well, I guess I will do my little... If you'll all wait for me for 10 minutes, I'll do a identify and see if we can get anything further from that. But without him being stored in some kind of field or box, like something we can cast over to protect him, then there's nothing that we're going to be able to do, as far as I know. Unless I'm just blind and forgetting something. I could cast my I could use my 3rd level spell scroll of lightning bolt and see if he's conductive or not.
Good.
I would advise against that.
I guess if nobody objects, I'll try identify, but I have to touch him again, which means I'll probably be consumed by this vortex.
Before you do that, I can ritual cast detect magic. It will also take 10 minutes.
Does that require you to touch, though?
No.
What's the range on it, then?
30 feet.
All right, if you'd like to do that, we can do that first. Do you have everything you need to do that?
Yeah, it's just concentration, 10 minutes. It takes 1 action less. It's a ritual that takes 1 action, lasts up to 10 minutes.
Alright.
It allows me to detect magic within 30 feet of me.
Alright.
Alright,
magical in origin.
Let's ritual cast that so it doesn't take a spell slot.
Alright, detect magic. Okay, you detect chronergy magic. There's like a weird tinny flavor to it. It just doesn't feel right.
Stainless steel bar are my favorite flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It feels off. It feels too big.
Righto, so this is chronergy magic. As you might expect.
Say, Benadryl, you know a thing or two about chronergy, don't you?
I do.
I only studied it very lightly back at the academy. I'm not as familiar with this form of magic, but do you think it... I'm guessing he's the origin point for it. Considering most chronergy needs some form or origin of. Do you have anything we may be able to use to dispel this to a degree? Or be able to
Arcana
possibly
check.
identify what kind of spell it is? Arcana check?
I'm gonna do an Arcana check to see if there's anything we can do.
Arcana. Okay, go ahead. Roll it.
15 plus 6, 21.
There is something going on here beyond like normal magics. To freeze time, even for one person for this amount of time, takes a form of magic much more powerful than anything you imagine would be in this room, or anything you would be capable of conjuring.
If we both combined our powers, we could do fucking nothing. We are not getting anything done. This is way beyond me.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I understand the principles at work, but I don't know. Unless suddenly you can pull some world-warping spirit magic or something out of your butt.
So you do realize, Benadryl, that while Garthus is trapped in time, if you could get like a wagon or something to transport them, you could probably like cart him out of here. Or like,
how would we get him to the cart though? We already established we cannot move him.
Did you?
Well, I mean,
you got a 2 on your strength check.
I gave him a tug. I couldn't exactly tell if he was moving or not. He's, this is kind of a big guy. I think he's almost twice my size. He's got a lot of muscle on him. I don't know if I'd be able to move him myself.
Yeah.
And this is why I said if we had Tensa's floating disc, we'd be able to possibly move him that way. But
yeah, well, guess who casts that?
I know. Rope is still on here. If we all want to try together, we can see if we can even just get him to budge. Otherwise, we're going to have to go outside and look for something.
Actually, I just thought the funny. Actually, hold on. Let me check how this works before I try it.
Otherwise, I'm going to be walking him like a dog on a leash, trying to use catapult over and over again to get him to move. And it's not going to do much, because I can only move at most 5 pounds with the catapult spell, meaning whatever I tie to the other end of the rope, it's gonna have to be hefty enough it doesn't break when
I
the tension of
mean,
the rope
we
hits
could
it.
just ask him to walk out.
Could you?
I got this. Would you move, please?
Garthus
Move?
unfortunately does not move.
I cast command.
Would he even be able to
Interesting.
recognize that? He's stuck in time. I'm not sure if he would even be able to be cognitive enough to receive the order.
If target doesn't understand your language or if the command is directly harmful, he's not undead. He would understand my language.
He would, but he's kind of temporarily locked.
Is he even able to move under his own power?
Very
I guess
slowly.
we're about to find out. Actually, before I cast it, we need to go get the cart.
What cart?
Whatever we're gonna transport him with.
We don't know if there's even one around here. No, we haven't looked. So I guess we should do that. Look around the castle. See if we can find something. Perhaps this is where I wish I had my mentor with me. He was great at making things. He was an artificer. He just, I don't know, take the goblin bones and make a wheel cart of them or something. He's surprisingly crafty, though I don't think he'd do something that morbid.
Indeed. So what are you doing? Where's everybody going? What's your plan?
All right, I'm gonna go check the front of the castle, see if there's anything around there, some wagon or something.
Okay.
So
So you see a set of doors, and the thought occurs to you that you could relatively easily create I'm not sure if pauldron is the right word.
a sled,
Not a sled.
perhaps, because I'm no craftsman, but I could fancy some sled legs out of those wood benches we found in the little kitchen area. Slat those underneath here with a couple nails, and it would at least be good for dragging.
Yeah. Could do that.
Alternatively, Lars says as he dons his proverbial thinking cap, walks over into this room. If those spears in there are of a high enough quality, perhaps we could make some makeshift axles that we could feed the lids of these larger barrels through, thus making some very makeshift wagon wheels.
Okay, let's see here. Make a... Ah, la 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 la.
Lars is good at theorizing. He's not good at following through on such things.
Gotcha. So you're not going to attempt to do any of this?
He's gonna look at it all. He's gonna let's start by inspecting the spears. Let's check their rigidity and see if I could, even if I could. There's what, 3 of them you said in here?
Yes.
Okay, so my idea would be we would do like a small hand cart. So instead of having 2 axles for a big wagon, we would do 1 axle for 2 wheels. So I would bundle. I want to check to see how good an individual spear is. I'm assuming it's going to be a basic wooden shaft that's not exactly very sturdy lengthwise.
They're pretty solid. They look like they are somewhat flexible. They're built for combat, so they could probably withstand a good amount of force. You're not sure how long they would last, but they would, for an amount of time, work as axles.
All right, those would work well enough. If not, I could probably. It wouldn't be a smooth ride, but I could try to bundle them and see if I can put them in a carross. But I don't think I'd be able to make a carross or a trestle of either kind with what I can find here. So replacing them as they break would probably be our best bet.
Gotcha.
How big around are these little wagon or these barrel lids? Would you say?
Gotcha. The lids themselves are, I'd say, on average around 2 feet.
Would you say like a
2 feet diameter?
Okay, so a basic heater shield then. That would work.
Yeah.
It would be a really cramped cart, and it wouldn't be able to carry much. I don't even know if it would support his weight. So, with what I have here, the last thing I guess I'd have to check is to see if there's a way. I would still have to build some form of truss, which don't think I could. I don't think I could even make one, unless I could find. Are there any lantern holders or torch holders on any of these walls that are cylindrical that I may be able to feed an axle shaft through?
I'll say there aren't. However, there are iron bands on some of the smaller chests that look like, with the proper application of maybe some spells or the right amount of leverage, you could probably. Oh man, if only you had one marshal. It's all casters. Ooh.
No. This makes this interesting. No. I can do the leverage bit.
Enlarge, reduce, and shrinks him by one size.
You could shrink him. That would actually make it easier to put him on the wagon too. And it would his weight be the same if you shrunk him though?
That's the question.
If you use enlarge reduce, perhaps we could modify some of these braziers to be cup links for the axle, but then we could attach to the wood of the door because there's look. I could probably cannibalize some of the nails off of one of these doors to attach and like bolt it into the base of a board that we could then put him on. That then the axles would then attach to, and we'd just feed the spear through, and then we would punch a hole out of one of the barrel roofs, the lids of these barrels, and then we would use that, and we just put that in as close as we could to the middle of the now converted spear. Alternatively, we could just shove him in a barrel and roll the barrel up the hill.
Low tech, but
we don't have a lot of strength is the issue with that. If we needed to take some of the iron bands around the chest or the barrels, I could easily leverage those by flinging a rock of some kind, using catapult to bend them around the circumference of what we're looking for. It's a very, how we would say this, barbaric technique for magic, but it would work, theoretically.
All right. You can try and put him in a barrel?
We could try to put him in a barrel first, though. That'd be a lot simpler. Oh yeah, who grabbed the dwarven brandy? Did anybody grab that? I know you took a swig of it, Benadryl.
I don't think anybody grabbed it.
If not, I'll just hold it in my inventory for now. If nobody else wants to carry it.
I'll let you carry it.
Do you want to carry it, Benadryl? Is that a yes
Also,
or a no?
reduce. Can you guys not hear me?
We
No.
can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'll carry it.
Okay.
Also, reduce. Weight is reduced to 1/8 that of normal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's significant.
Ooh,
They
okay.
are halved in 1/2 by all dimensions.
Change
Okay.
of plan, then. We
Barrel it is.
I was gonna say we could shove him in the barrel and just carry him in a barrel.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy enough.
All right.
So you
could,
cast enlarge reduce?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So,
Or better yet, could we just put him in a gunny sack? That'd be far easier to carry, actually. The tiny him in a gunny sack. I could tie the rope around the top and the bottom so he wouldn't fall out of it, and then we could just throw him on our back and carry him like a backpack. It wouldn't be as sturdy as the barrel, but it'd be a lot lighter. And considering we all have strength issues, that could also work. Even better, we could carry him like a hogtie style. We have him in the bag, and so we don't risk getting affected by his temporal vortex. We string the bag he's in over the spear, and that we carry over our shoulders, so that way we both carry the load.
Like a hobo bag.
Yes, except one person holds it on each end, and Garthus in the bag is in the middle of the two in his shrunken form. That way, our strength wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't have to worry about the big barrel weighing us down that much. It would just be having to carry him in the bag. which we're using leverage to our advantage.
Okay. Well, all right, yeah. That could work. That could work. Go ahead and cast some spells, make some checks. Let's do this thing.
Let's see if we can do it.
All right. So what's your first step?
Well, first we got to shrink him and see if we can even shrink him first. Because if he's frozen in time, he may not even shrink.
All right. Go ahead and cast Enlarge Reduce, or attempt to cast.
Okay, that's you, Benadryl.
I mean, it's not a saving throw, is it?
It's either it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Let me check. If they are unwilling, they make a con save. Otherwise, it just happens.
All right, yeah. So you cast Enlarge, or rather you cast Reduce, and the spell's effect happens in slow motion. He begins to slowly shrink.
All right.
It's like he's shrinking in molasses. It's almost imperceptible at first. But after about 30 minutes, he is fully shrunken.
I'm assuming during this time all the other stuff is prepared.
Yeah, I guess I could roll to see if I could find a gunny sack of some kind. That would fit him.
There should be.
You could fashion one out of the coarse bed sheets in the other room.
I could. Do you want me to? If I can't find one, do you want me to roll for that? See if I could do that.
Sure.
I don't have any tools or anything on me.
Do you have the mending cantrip?
I do have the mending cantrip. I have not actually been able to use that yet.
Okay.
So
I'll say in this case, you can cast Mending to fuse two sides of this sheet together to kind of stitch it magically.
I didn't think I could do that.
Well, there you go. All right, so we got our bag.
My kidnapper sack.
All right. I guess Lars, you could go ahead and put him in the bag.
I guess I've already been infected by it.
You already touched him. You might as well touch him again.
All right. Lars is going to very carefully throw this over the top of his head and just completely cover him.
Gotcha.
In the sack. Almost like you're bagging a like guitar or something.
There he is. He's in the sack.
All right, and then the last step, Lars says, as he picks up one of the sturdy spear, bangs one of the sturdy spears stoutly on the ground, is this, as he thrusts the spear through the top of the bag and ties it around the two ends of the points to create a sort of hanging hammock.
Okay, you can see that the sack gets kind of weird and stiff in the places where Garthus touches it, but it's far enough up where it attaches to the spear that it's still somewhat flexible. And even with your wizard's strength, which is to say no strength at all, he is light enough for you to carry. You've done it. You can now leave Cragmaw Castle behind.
That honestly felt like an achievement and a half, my word.
I want to imagine while they were doing that, Toa's just in the other room going through boxes and stuff that was not he considered of value. He was just throwing down the cliff here, the hill.
Just like littered boxes.
There's like rotten
You're like
food
a cat that finds something on a shelf.
It's like anything that wasn't of value, or like the weapons we weren't taking, like the Morning Star and the long sword.
I have to ask, how long does Enlarge Reduce last?
It's been well over the amount of time it lasts. It normally lasts for only a minute. It's already been 30, and it's still in effect? Question mark?
Time flows differently for Garthus right now. It's to our advantage.
Fair enough. I was just trying to make sure because I didn't want him to explode out the sack.
Yeah, you know that Enlarge Reduce is normally instantaneous. You normally see zip, like blink of an eye. This took 30 minutes. This leads you to believe that perhaps he's not entirely stopped in time, just slowed way, way, way down.
Yeah, so we probably have a couple hours.
Well, I say we don't dawdle, and we make our best speed back to Phandelver.
Okay, so you're going to use the rest of the day to journey back?
Absolutely. I don't think we have any time to waste.
Did the rest of the party even notice all the junk that's out here now?
Lars does not notice until he steps out the back here and looks to the left and sees a barrel tumble down the side and come on, stop snapping. There we go. And just smash, crash, and bang. Toa! What are you doing?
Oh, it's funny.
I don't think it's that funny. You're wasting perfectly good barrels and boxes. And thus, oh, whatever. Lars says he turns away and starts walking up the hill with his hobo sack.
You're like, you mean the goblin boxes?
Yeah. So, are you guys...
We're probably leaving now.
You're probably leaving? Okay, great.
I'm voting to leave. It's like Warframe. One person is waiting at exfil.
Yes. So, I'm going to switch to player view, and I'm going to color this something easier to see.
If I had time, I also would, while they were doing that, I also would have wanted to start throwing the headless goblin bodies out there too. Just throw all of this junk outside.
Alright, so, this is where you're at, and do you want to spend the rest of your day moving back down the mountain?
I guess we could travel directly down from the mountain to Phandelver instead of coming back the way we came.
Okay.
It will be multiple days if we do that, so it might be pertinent if we try to take a more direct route.
Okay, I'll say it's difficult terrain, so normally you can move, normally I'd say you can move, what was it? What did I say? 33 miles every 6 hours? Because you're moving, let's see what the math is on that. Like 10 miles an hour? Wait. Moving 5.5 miles an hour, so got a bit of a jog going there. But this is difficult terrain, so you're moving at about half your normal speed. It's 6 p.m., so the sun is beginning to fade a little bit. You want to keep going? You can see Phandelver, and it's in the valley.
Is he starting to enlarge in size yet?
No. Not yet.
I would advise making it to Phandelver before Enlarge Reduce expires.
I concur.
Yes.
Me and Lars have night vision, so that will assist us in night travel. All
so
Benadryl has to do.
You want to go another 6 hours of travel?
We would make it if we did that, correct?
You'd make it if you did another, 10 hours. Another 6 hours will put you on the outskirts of Phandelver.
Well, then perhaps we should find a place to camp up and rest outside of Phandelver.
Yeah, do you want to travel for another 6 hours? That means you're going to be arriving at, let's see...
It's 1,800 hours,
at midnight, right? Yeah. Means you'd be traveling by dark.
That is risky. We have good vision, up to 60 feet at least.
If you want to go there straight march, I'll say you can get there at let's see, 10 hours from now, 4 a.m. the following day, if you proceed at a straight march. But you will suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
I guess we could stop and rest because we could just Enlarge Reduce again.
That is an option. I guess that would probably be the smart call, because if we do find ourselves into trouble, I am not going to be very capable of doing much.
Yeah, I gotta say, the long rest would be desirable to reload the spell slots and allow me to reset my arsenal.
What do you say, Benadryl?
As long as we get there.
Alright.
I would say the long rest is advisable, and then we can fast march after.
I think erring on the side of caution would be advisable. And I think that we should probably stop where we are and then pick it back up again in the morning.
Okay.
We don't know what's down there. We didn't come up this way. We're not sure what could be there. And I don't exactly fancy running into something terrifying, like rock monsters. I mean, goblins.
So you're gonna
While we're exhausted.
stop and make camp here?
Yes, I think that will, because I think we're running close on time, so that might also work as just a good spot to call it too.
Sounds good.
I'm not sure what our time's looking at. I know it's
5:04.
Right
5:07 actually.
Hmm.
Not sure what clock you're looking at. But yeah, I'm
I
good
have more
calling
than
it
one
here.
clock in my room.
One of them is wrong. But yeah, I'm good calling it here if you guys are.
I think it'd be a good spot.
So I guess, do we get the long rest in or not? That would be the only question I have before we end it off.
Sure. Let's say you spend 30 minutes making camp, and a long rest is 8 hours.
All right, let me take off all of my spell cast bonuses and stuff like that real quick, and reset my armor class. Mage armor's not on. That's not on. That's not on. There we go. Aid's not on. Reset that. And then long rest, you said?
Yep.
Right.
Very good.
Do that. Reset. Okay, I'm back to how I should be. Everything is fixed.
All right. So let's see here. Think we should be good here. I'm not going to require rolls because it's so close to the end of the session. But I will say, if you go to rest and do watches immediately, you will begin the next day at 4:30 in the morning, and we will be traveling again back to Phandelver.
Oh boy.
All right. I will leave it there and rejoin next week.